The raw speed of a vehicle tearing down a city street at night is intimidating enough. When someone says 300 horsepower, turbocharged, or all-wheel drive, it is incredibly easy to just nod along and pretend you understand exactly what they mean. Ignoring that vocabulary has a cost. If you don't speak the language of cars, you end up buying the wrong vehicle for your daily commute, wasting thousands of dollars at the gas pump, or missing the critical safety warnings your car is trying to give you. To translate this language, we start with the visible outer shell. This diagram lays out the four main body types. You have the classic four-door sedan with a trunk, the sportier two-door coupe, the taller SUV built for families and off-roading, and the hatchback, which uses a large rear window that opens up for flexible cargo space. When those outer shells fade away, we are left with this glowing wireframe. Underneath, every car is a physical machine designed to generate, deliver, and control energy. By tracking the physical journey of that power, from the moment it is created in the engine to the second it hits the pavement, the alien language of car specifications translates into simple, logical English. This diagram shows two engine cylinders, a small 1.0-liter and a large 3.0-liter. This represents cc, or cubic centimeters. It is a literal measurement of how much physical space your engine has inside to mix air and fuel. The larger the space, the larger the explosion. Engine size generates two distinct types of force, shown in this split-screen model. On the left, horsepower dictates your vehicle's top speed. On the right, torque acts as the physical muscle. Torque is the pushing force required to launch a heavy sports car from a dead stop, or allow a truck to tow a massive load without stalling. To produce that horsepower and torque, the engine has to spin. We measure that effort in RPM, or revolutions per minute. A higher RPM burns more fuel, but it means the engine is working harder to generate immediate power. You don't always need a massive engine to get massive power. As this visualization shows, a turbocharger acts like a giant leaf blower. It forces extra air into a smaller cylinder, which allows more fuel to burn at once. This forces a small, highly efficient engine to punch well above its physical weight class. Every specification on a dealership window sticker, cc, horsepower, torque, RPM, and turbocharging, is simply measuring the potential kinetic energy created under the hood. Creating energy is useless if it doesn't reach the wheels. The transmission formats the engine's raw power into usable gears. A manual transmission requires you to shift those gears yourself using a clutch, while modern automatics, including smooth, gearless CVTs and lightning-fast dual-clutch systems, handle the formatting for you. Once the power is formatted, the drivetrain dictates where it goes. In this top-down view, the energy lines flow straight from the engine to the front tires. This is front-wheel drive, or FWD. It is cheap to manufacture, highly fuel-efficient, and serves as the standard for everyday driving. When those energy lines route to the back, we get rear-wheel drive. Pushing the car from the rear instead of pulling it from the front balances the vehicle's weight. Sports cars rely on this exact setup for precise high-speed handling. Finally, the energy lines split to all four corners. All-wheel drive and four-wheel drive systems distribute power everywhere at once. This ensures that if one wheel slips on ice or mud, the other three still have the physical grip to pull the vehicle forward. Choosing a drivetrain means matching the car's power distribution to the specific weather and terrain you drive through every day. Look closely at this mechanical action. When you press the brake pedal, a caliper aggressively clamps brake pads down onto a spinning metal rotor. Most modern cars use these disc brakes to generate the massive physical friction needed to kill the vehicle's forward momentum. That friction generates extreme heat. If you ride your brakes down a steep hill, that heat builds up until the pads lose their ability to grip the metal. The pedal goes soft, and your stopping distance stretches out. Mechanics call this dangerous loss of power brake fade. To maintain control during an emergency stop, cars use digital safety nets. In this diagram, the tire on the left locks up and sliding helplessly. The tire on the right uses an anti-lock braking system, or ABS. It pulses the brakes rapidly, preventing a lockup and keeping the vehicle tracking perfectly straight. That digital control extends to how the car corners. As this vehicle oversteers, stability control acts as an invisible hand, automatically braking individual outside wheels to correct the slide. Traction control does the inverse, cutting engine power the moment a wheel starts spinning on wet pavement. Horsepower and torque dictate how fast you can launch off the starting line, but your braking and handling specifications dictate whether you actually make it to your destination in one piece. Keeping this machine moving requires fuel. A car's official MPG, or miles per gallon, is calculated under perfect flat road testing conditions. In the real world, you maximize your MPG by accelerating smoothly, sticking to efficient cruising speeds, and keeping your tires properly inflated to reduce physical rolling resistance. The engine also requires basic chemical and airflow maintenance to survive its own internal heat. Dirty engine oil turns into thick sludge, and a clogged air filter chokes the combustion process. Replacing both on a strict mileage schedule ensures the system can breathe and lubricate itself. Look at these health meters. We easily remember to track oil and air filters, but wear items degrade silently. A car battery only holds a reliable charge for about 3 to 5 years. Brake pads slowly grind themselves to dust. Proactively checking these specific parts prevents you from being stranded in a parking lot. Routine maintenance protects the mechanical efficiency of the system. You spend a little money on fresh fluids and filters today to prevent a catastrophic mechanical failure tomorrow. We have traced kinetic energy from the moment air and fuel ignite inside a cylinder. We followed that power through the gears of a transmission, down the lines of a drivetrain, and watched it fight against the friction of a brake rotor. Terms like RPM, AWD, and brake fade are no longer an alien language designed to confuse you. They are exact, logical descriptions of the physical actions happening underneath the hood. When you speak this language, you stop being a passive passenger in your own vehicle. You understand the specs, you know how the systems interact, and you become an empowered driver, fully capable of commanding the machine.